A beautiful afternoon to you and welcome to TV Sapienza News Hour. On the news is Oluchi Ojo Bamdele. The news headlines: Anambra State Governor Professor Charles Soludo has revealed that his administration cleared 7 years worth of accumulated gratuity and pension arrears inherited from previous governments. The Southern African Development Community has officially commenced the phased withdrawal of its military mission in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. And Flying Eagles of Nigeria has beaten Tunisia 1-0 in a tightly contested Group B opener in their quest for an 8 Under-20 African Cup of Nations title. Now the details of the news. Anambra State Governor Professor Charles Soludo has revealed that his administration cleared 7 years worth of accumulated gratuity and pension arrears inherited from previous governments. Governor Soludo said this during the 2025 Workers' Day celebration at Alex Ekweme Square in Oka yesterday, and he reaffirmed his administration's unwavering commitment to the welfare of workers and Nigerians' ongoing economic challenges. He noted that retirees were owed 4 years of pension payments totaling about 14 billion naira and confirmed that payments for the years 2018, 2019 and 2020 have been completed, remaining year 2021, assuring that his government are making arrangements to ensure it is settled shortly. On his part, the state chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Humphrey Wafo, praised the progress of Governor Soludo's administration but called for the settlement of outstanding allowances owed to non-teaching staff under the Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board, as well as staff in post-primary institutions. The Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) and the Drug Enforcement Administration have requested a 90-day extension from a United States District Court to produce documents relating to an alleged drug investigation involving President Bola Tinubu dating back to the 1990s. The request was submitted on Thursday in a joint status report filed with the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. The case stemmed from a series of Freedom of Information Act requests by an American legal transparency advocate and founder of the platform Plainsight and Aaron Greenspan. Greenspan is seeking the release of records connected to a Chicago-based drug ring and has named Tinubu along with 3 other individuals, Lee Andrew Edwards, Abeboyega Akende, and Abiodun Agbele. It opposed the delay, arguing that the agencies had already delayed the process for years and that some documents had already been identified. Meanwhile, both agencies said they needed more time to complete their research. The United Kingdom and Nigeria have formalized a new partnership to intensify efforts against fraud and financial crime following the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding and Joint Action Plan by both nations in Abuja. UK Minister for Fraud Lord Hansen, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, and National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu signed the agreement during a high-level meeting held this week. In a statement issued by the British High Commissioner in Abuja on Thursday, the agreement is to enhance intelligence sharing, joint investigations and coordinated actions to combat rising fraud threats targeting both countries. The deal was signed due to the growing concerns over the international dimensions of fraud, with UK officials estimating that more than 70% of fraud impacting the country originates or involves actors based overseas. Hansen said the new agreements with Nigeria will help to identify and stop fraud before it happens, crack down on criminals who exploit the systems, and ultimately protect the public. Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Oti has revealed his plans to build a 1.3 billion naira medical city in the state. The governor made the disclosure during the April edition of Meet the People, a monthly engagement forum. He said the medical city will be inaugurated by President Bola Tinubu during his visit to the state before May 29, adding that the project aimed at curbing the country's growing dependence on foreign medical tourism and reducing transport costs for healthcare. Governor Oti promised that the Abia Medical City will save billions of dollars in medical tourism and transport costs, as it is a game changer for healthcare, not just in Abia State, but across Nigeria. He also disclosed that about 7,000 Abia State children are currently benefiting from the state's free education program, supported by recent employment of 9,000 teachers. He also assured that these teachers are undergoing phased training to improve teaching quality. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has commenced a comprehensive investigation into alleged discrepancies surrounding the disbursement of student loans under the Nigerian Education Loan Fund. The commission said its investigation revealed that while the federal government released 100 billion naira for the scheme, only 28.8 billion naira was disbursed to students, leaving 71.2 billion naira unaccounted for. In a statement yesterday by the ICPC spokesperson Demola Bakare, the commission stated that a special task force immediately commenced investigation upon receiving the allegations. Troubled by the development, the National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) vowed to protest the alleged discrepancy. Also, the National Orientation Agency had alleged that certain schools conniving with some banks delayed payments to students who qualify for loans. They could make money off the situation. The Nigerian Labour Congress NLC Edo State Chapter has commended Governor Monday Okpebholo for raising the minimum wage of Edo workers from 70,000 naira to 75,000 naira, describing the move as a major relief for workers. Struggling with economic hardship, the acting NLC chairman, Bernard Ekwegide, gave the commendation during the May Day celebration held at the Samuel Obemodie Stadium in Benin City on Thursday. Bernard said the governor took the welfare of Edo workers seriously and embarked on interventions that to a great extent enabled workers in the state to enjoy their civil rights. Governor Okpebholo, on his part, praised the resilience and contribution of Edo workers to the growth of the state, noting that their daily efforts were instrumental to building a prosperous Edo state. Speaking on other initiatives, the governor noted that over 1,000 casual workers, including cleaners, had been absorbed into the core civil service, adding that 500 new teachers had been hired, and the status of 3,000 casual teachers was under review for full employment. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, has emphasized that Africa's future hinges on the leadership and innovation of its women, warning that persistent systemic barriers continue to hinder their progress. Speaking, Oduwole delivered a passionate call to action, urging both public and private sectors to be more intentional about fostering inclusive leadership and economic structures. The minister said women drive Africa's self-employment but face systemic barriers, calling for gender-intentional policies and inclusive leadership. She added that when policies are not gender-blind but gender-intentional, real change happens. Oduwole, however, called for deliberate efforts to ensure women have the tools, networks and opportunities to thrive, stressing the need to reimagining systems that work for African economies as they evolve. Still on the news, the governors of the Northeast region, including Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba and Yobe State, have agreed to collaborate with the National Commission for Amajiri and Out-of-School Children Education by providing office space in each state. This was made known in a communique read by the governor of Taraba State, Abu Kefas, at the end of the Northeast Governors Forum meeting held in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, on Thursday, where the forum also pledged to support the enrollment of Amajiri and out-of-school children into formal schools. The forum also lamented the rising activities of insurgents in the sub-region and called for the armed forces, other security agencies, and community leaders to reappraise their strategy in the counter-insurgency onslaught in the region. According to the forum, addressing the security challenge in the Northeast requires a multi-dimensional approach of not only the kinetic strategy but also address the root causes such as youth employment through vocational and technical education, improved road networks, improving education and reducing poverty. On the front, the Southern African Development Community has officially commenced the phased withdrawal of its military mission in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. In a statement released on Thursday, the pullout is being carried out overland, with troops transiting through Rwanda down to their respective troop contributing countries. The withdrawal follows a directive issued by the Summit of Southern African Development Community Heads of State and Government, held on March 13, which formally announced the termination of the Congo's mandate. The development community is a regional economic community comprising 16 member states, which includes Angola, Botswana, the Comoros, the DRC, Aswani, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Israel has carried out a total siege of Gaza, refusing to allow in a single truck of humanitarian aid or commercial goods, the longest period Israel has imposed such a total blockade. Israel says it cut off the entry of humanitarian aid to pressure Hamas to release hostages, but international organizations say the actions violate international law, with some accusing Israel of using starvation as a weapon of war, which is a war crime. The World Food Programme WFP's emergency coordinator in Gaza, Yasmin Madin, said the organization's supply have been cancelled, with WFP disclosed that if Israel would only open the gates of Gaza, it is ready to move in enough aid into Gaza to feed the entire population for up to 2 months. Israel's European allies, including France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, have issued increasingly urgent calls for it to allow the entry of humanitarian aid. Over to sports, where the Flying Eagles of Nigeria has beaten Tunisia 1-0 in a tightly contested Group B opener at the 30 June Air Defense Stadium in Cairo on Thursday in their quest for an 8 under-20 African Cup of Nations title. A first half strike by Awa Ibrahim separated the two sides as the Flying Eagles ground out a result in a match full of physical battles near misses. Despite Nigerians dominating early proceedings and carving out several chances, they found a resilient Tunisian side determined to hold their ground. Nigerians' energy in midfield, driven by Divine Olise and Clinton Jefta, helped them control long spells of the match. Although the second half was creepier and more littered with fouls, the game saw 6 yellow cards shared evenly between the teams, a sign of its growing intensity. The result gives Nigeria 3 vital points in a group that also includes Morocco and Kenya, while Tunisia now faces added pressure heading into their next match. Nigeria, the most decorated team in under-20 AFCON history with 7 titles, have now extended their unbeaten run in tournament openers to 8 of their last 10 appearances. Chelsea strolled to a comfortable 4-1 win at Jogadin in the first leg of the UEFA Conference League semi-final on Thursday and booked their spot in the finals. In the other semi-final, Spain's Real Betis took a 2-1 lead into the return fixtures against two-time runner-up Fiorentina. The first half goals from Jadon Sancho and Noni Madueke put Chelsea in control in Sweden before Nicolas Jackson grabbed a brace midway through the second period. Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca said it was an important semi-finals for his club. Meanwhile, Maresca's side have 1 foot in the final of the Conference League in their debut campaign in the third-tier European competitions. To bring the news to an end, a recap of our headlines. Anambra State Governor Professor Charles Soludo has revealed that his administration cleared 7 years' worth of accumulated gratuity and pension arrears inherited from previous governments. The Southern African Development Community has officially commenced the phased withdrawal of its military mission in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And the Flying Eagles of Nigeria has beaten Tunisia 1-0 in a tightly contested Group B opener in their quest for an 8 under-20 African Cup of Nations title. And that was the Sapientia News at 1. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojobamdele. Thank you for choosing TV Sapientia. Bye for now.